Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 8. So over the past few seasons, might I say, Arrow has definitely been a show, especially in the opening portion of the season, to keep things on the down low. Not many new news releases or casting announcements, outside the first episode. Sometimes they will give us some information about that, and that is mainly due to the fact that Comic-Con would normally fall around, just after the end of filming for episode 1. It is usually a show like The Flash or even Supergirl that does all the public filming that allows us to see what's going on, or they simply just announce themselves what is going on and all of that. But that has really changed this season, which seems fitting due to it being Arrow's last season, that we are getting a decent amount of information about Arrow as they move through these final 10 episodes of Season 8, their final season. But in this video, we are going to be going over a few new things in regards to Arrow Season 8, which do include a major returning character for at least one episode, which is cool, but hopefully they're around for more episodes than just that one episode, as well as some other behind the scenes stuff and just general information, including like some interviews and stuff like that. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to leave all of your various opinions and thoughts in the comments section down below, as there's some stuff in here which obviously would have different opinions and thoughts, so leave them all down there. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and are just excited and hyped from what you hear in this video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show that support and hype. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So let's start off with what is probably the first thing in the title, which is around a returning character for Season 8 of Arrow from previous seasons. Now, at the current time from when I am making this video, at least, I think they are still on episode 3, but heading towards the conclusion of that episode's filming, episode 3 is being directed by Katie Cassidy. Now, the reason I think they are still on episode 3 is due to the fact that Stephen Amell has been tweeting out whenever they finish an episode, and well, he hasn't tweeted out about finishing episode 3 yet, so by the use of logic, it seems they haven't finished episode 3 yet. But around the set of episode 3 of Arrow Season 8 was something pretty interesting. And I've been told this by a source that I trust, so here we go. And this interesting thing was the trailer, or like the little van thing that they stay in when they're filming, for Thea Queen, played of course by Willa Holland. Now the trailer was seen around the studio they film Arrow, but I think on the day in question the trailer was seen, they were filming on location, which we will come back to later on in the video. Now just quickly, I need to butt in, this is like me hours in the future after initially recording this video. Stephen Amell just tweeted out that episode 3 is done, they just wrapped up filming for it, so they're on a bit of a break I guess until episode 4, I don't know, but yeah. This was all going down whilst episode 3 was filming, like everything I just said, so I guess we will just have to wait and see if Willa Holland is still around when episode 4 is being filmed. Stephen actually did refer to not only one guest star, but 2 guest stars in his thank you video, so one of those guest stars is Thea Queen. It will be interesting to see who the other one is as well. But yeah, back to the normal scheduled programming. Wow, that was lame. Remind me never to say that again. Anyway, let's just get back to it. Now, Thea did make an appearance in Arrow Season 7 in the 150th episode, but it did appear to be like a short scene that was filmed in Los Angeles rather than Vancouver. Even though it could have been filmed in Vancouver, I'm not too sure. But that was like a 1-minute scene, if that, so if we ignore that, Thea left towards the end of Season 6 after stepping away from the Speedy mantle the season before. Now, Thea's character was a victim and casualty to the introduction of other characters over the seasons when she was Speedy. Now, there were rumors that there was some drama between someone on the show and Willa and her family. That could just be some gossip online that I haven't really dived too deep into. It seems that way, but that apparently was a factor in Willa Holland leaving the role of Thea. But yeah, as I said, no idea how legitimate that was. But if it is true, maybe whoever was causing that drama or was a factor in that drama is no longer a part of the show or something, and maybe that's why Willa is, well, willing to come back. It's hard to tell. But this isn't the topic or subject to be putting a tinfoil hat on about, so let's just move on. So with Thea looking to be back for some portion of Arrow Season 8, how will she come back into the picture? How will she come back into the show? Now, the obvious answer is that she just decides to roll back around and just hang out in Star City for a bit. But I think we can all agree that it probably won't be as simple as that. And that is just due to how Season 8 is looking to take shape. It just seems like it is going to be a super unorthodox season and very hard, or at least pretty hard, to predict. But seeing that we will be going to different Earths in the multiverse, but it looks of it, as well as just hanging out with different versions of Oliver Queen, which has been confirmed by Stephen Amell himself, it makes complete sense that we possibly made an alternate version of Thea from another Earth or something along those lines, or maybe even a future version if they want to do some stuff like that. I mean, it would be pretty interesting to see Althea come back into the fold, but with the news that Roy won't be a regular and won't feature at all early on into Season 8, I don't think bringing Althea back would be... It wouldn't work great. I mean, she went through some, heavy crap off screen. Like, she had to watch Roy die and then have to make the decision to put him through the process that she struggled with in Season... 3 or 4, with reviving him through the Lazarus pit. I think it would be better if Rory was there to just deal with that. So I personally would prefer to see an alternate version of Thea, maybe, who isn't that different from our version, but maybe just gives us a different take on certain traits or aspects of Thea. Like, I think that would be pretty cool, but probably the best way to go about it, seeing there is no Roy at this current time. Now, the next thing to go over is actually a photo from Stephen Amell, who obviously plays Oliver Queen. Now, he posted a photo of himself with James Bamford, who isn't directing this episode. Obviously, Katie Cassidy is, but James Bamford is like the stunt coordinator, and I think he might have been helping Katie with some certain things there as well. So, yeah, that's why he's on set. Now, as you can tell by the background, it does seem that they are on the Leanne New set, which is just like a Vancouver park, like a parkland sort of thing in Vancouver. But if you look at Stephen, he has like squiggled, like blue paint. I don't even know how you'd call it. Like, he's done some finger painting on his little picture here. But it is obvious that he's wearing the Season 1 hood, or possibly just the hood from Yao Fei. Obviously, the Season 1 suit did have the hood from Yao Fei, which was like stitched onto like a leather suit. It's hard to tell, but he is wearing that sort of hood by the looks of it. But the one thing that does need to be pointed out, is that he doesn't have long hair. So this isn't a flashback. So if it was a flashback, he'd have his long hair from the island. Unless it is the Season 1 suit, then I guess it's a flashback, but then he's on Leanne Yu, so yeah. And also, for someone going, oh, Paige, he could have just taken off the wig. The wigs aren't taken off, like, until after shooting, and they don't take them off until they're in, like, the hair and makeup department area sort of thing, so he wouldn't have taken off here. Otherwise, I think Stephen might have gotten in trouble, I think. But going off some various posts from Katie Cassidy's Instagram as well, a decent amount of filming took place in these outdoor areas for episode 3, so maybe a lot of the episode does take place on Leanne Yu. Maybe this is where Thea has some screen time, I don't know, but I wouldn't say it's flashbacks. It could be time travel, or it could be another Earth, or maybe Oliver just goes there for a bit of practice and Thea's just randomly there, who knows. But the final thing I want to go over in this video is actually a short interview with the consultant for Arrow this season, in like past seasons as well, and a former showrunner of the show, that of course being Marc Guggenheim. Now, in this interview, they were talking about the final episodes of Arrow, as well as just the conclusion of the show and how it all wraps up. And actually, in regards to the final scene of the show that we're ever going to see, he had this to say. I came out of meditation one morning and I had the whole last scene, and it's a brand new scene. Now, I must say, that's a very interesting way to come up with a new final scene for the show, but the topic of Crisis on Infinite Earths and its effect on the final episodes and moments of Arrow was brought up as well, and this is what was said by Guggenheim. The 8th episode of Arrow's 10-episode farewell run will serve as part 4 of this season's Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. The episode that follows is not related to the crossover and very specific. We know exactly what happens in it. Episode 10 then will deliver a proper series finale. Now, this piques my interest a decent amount as, like, what the hell will episode 9 be about if it isn't going to be related to the events of the crossover, as well as being very specific? Does this mean that maybe Oliver leaves his life on Earth and goes to the paradise dimension that we saw Felicity go to at the end of last season, and that's in like the crisis bit, and then episode 9 is like an episode disconnected from that, maybe set in the future? I'm extremely confused, but also extremely intrigued by this as well. And with episode 10, I expect this to be a sort of like memorial type of episode. I think it's what most of us are expecting. If Oliver is seen to be like seen as like dead by the rest of the world, you would think there might be some sort of funeral for him or service. As I've said a few times, I would love like a sort of like death of Superman moment, or even just the death of Green Arrow moment from the comics, where we get all the heroes at like a funeral service in their like their superhero suits. That it might seem a bit corny, but if it's done correctly, it'd be cool. It'd just be like super comic booky, which I would love. But in regards to that final scene for Arrow, this is what Guggenheim had to say specifically. There are a lot of logistical hurdles that have to be crossed in order to shoot that scene. It's not like we can just film it tomorrow. The thing that I've sort of always told myself about the finale was that I wouldn't be so rigid about my plan, that I wouldn't leave myself open to other ideas. Had I not left myself open, I wouldn't have written the scene I wrote, which I really, really like. Now, the final scene for a show that, has run as long as Arrow can be one of those ones that is just like super difficult to do. Like Smallville had a pretty easy choice like for their ending shot, seeing as Clark Kent wasn't officially Superman yet. So we were just waiting for that classic iconic shot of the shirt being pulled open to reveal the suit, and then he flies away as Superman. But Oliver Queen has been Green Arrow, well, for ages now. But if you do have any ideas for what they could use as his final shot, let me know in the comments. But maybe the final shot that Guggenheim would want to do that is maybe hard to put together, maybe is that funeral shot of all those heroes together. Like Guggenheim's a comic book writer. He likes reading comic books. He's written a lot of DC and Marvel stuff. He would know all of this stuff. So maybe that's what he's planning. Who knows what he's planning, but it must be big. And probably like a nice wink to the comic book fans, but also very respectful to, the show of Arrow, that it deserves to be the final scene. So I'm intrigued to see what they do. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you did, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on what we went over the different topics we went over, like Thea coming back. You excited? What do you think this stuff that Guggenheim was talking about? What do you think it could be? Leave all those opinions in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.